I got to think when you're looking at what Florida football has become over the last 5 or 6 years, it's just stunning. I mean, it's hard to understand how it got to this point.
We finally maybe be trying to turn it around. We always have had the athletes, I really appreciate this new coaching staff, and I know this is the honeymoon period right now. But what he's doing with the recruiting class he's bringing in this year, and I was able to be around him and hang out around with him, and it's looking like we might turn it around.
Another duly noted podcast comes to you from the Meldon Law Studios at the Hacienda. Okay, welcome in to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at the Hacienda. We appreciate all of our great guests coming on today. Kenyatta Walker is going to join us. Former All-American at the University of Florida, one of the great offensive linemen they've ever had, and of course an NFL player, won a Super Bowl ring starting for the Bucks. So I look forward to talking to him. He lives in Dallas now. We're going to have a good time with that. And then Coach Spurrier will be back on Monday. The following Thursday, Jesse Palmer is going to join us. I'm excited about that. The following Monday after that, Coach will be gone. But instead, we're bringing in Brian Donovan, who I ran into the other day at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. He works there, and we talked a lot. He's doing these camps, and he's doing a podcast, and he's very involved in basketball, and I thought it'd be great to have him on. And then I think the Thursday after that, we're going to have the new women's basketball coach, Tammy Reese. So we're trying to get everything scheduled, and it's that time of year. When obviously people have vacations and stuff like that, but we're going to get it done. We're going to keep coming at you with a bunch of great guests, and that sounds like a pretty good lineup right there. All right, it is time for us to get started with our Money Metals starting five. MoneyMetals.com is your home for gold and silver purchases, one of the largest distributors in all the United States. 2 Gator grads are running it, and you can reach them at 1-800-800. 1865 or at moneymetals.com. All right. Well, we talked a lot about that new coin that they're coming out with, the 1 ounce silver coin. And here it is. I tried to show it, and I'll show it a little bit, but I mean, it came in this really nice box too. And you can see it. So that is, it's 100% or 99.999% silver. And anyway, it's a really cool thing to give to Father's Day's coming up, and you can go reach them at moneymetals.com and order one. And they do a great job over there. We appreciate them so much. So let's get to our starting five, and we will open up, as we very begrudgingly, with baseball, because after watching that game Monday night, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't watch it all. Man, I was just really ticked off, as I'm sure a lot of people were. It was a bit embarrassing, now again, Troy, give them a lot of credit. That team came in there, nothing to lose. Let's go play our tails off. They lose the first game to Miami, and then they come back and beat Florida twice, beat Miami again. It was, you have to give them a lot of credit. However, I'm still going to talk about Florida because Florida is the team we care about. I don't think many of us are really watching the Troy, Arkansas Little Rock Super Regional. It's amazing how it's set up so good for Florida. They end up with Troy and you've got Liam Peterson going out there. I talked about that a lot on Monday. But both of their great pitchers, their SEC Pitcher of the Year, their SEC preseason Pitcher of the Year, both laid eggs. So did a lot of other people. Now, as far as the game Monday night goes, the game turned when he had to pull Caden McDonald, and I get that. I totally understand having to pull him. If you think the guy is out of gas, I get it, and that's your choice. And one thing Sully has always done is protect his pitchers, and that's why they get great pitchers in the recruiting process. They've done a great job of that. And then you bring in Russell Sandifer. When I see him go in, I went, wow, okay, all right, I like this. This move may work. Well, it obviously didn't. You don't put Russell Sandifer in, who pitched so well Friday night, You don't put him in and expect him to walk 3 straight batters of 1 out. There's 1 out when he comes in, 3 straight walks, and now he's out. That's when you went, this could be disastrous. And then a hit. But the thing that bothered me, I think, the most was there was one play where a guy stole second base, and I can't remember who it was. And it wasn't in that inning, but it may have been in that inning. And nobody covered second base. And I'm like, maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe you were saying, we'll give you, but that made no sense at the time. And then the other one was the bunt, where they bunted and nobody covers nobody covers first base. These are fundamental things, guys, that you should not be saying we got to get better at, in this, at this point in the season. I mean, you won 40 games. You won, I think it ended up being 14 out of the last 16. And then going into the Troy game, and you lose that game, and then you lose the next game, and you get smoked in both of them. Just embarrassing. And it's been I call them team weird for a reason, because this was the moment, but going into that first Troy game on Sunday, where it was all setting up perfect for you to get to Omaha, and they didn't, and they won't, and the season's over. And I got to be honest with you, I'm still a little bit down about it. I mean, I love my Gator sports, love watching them. That's why I'm still here after I moved here in '87. So doing the quick math, 39 years after going to school here and after being born here, I came back here, and I love my Gator sports. I love to watch them, but not this year. It hadn't been great. There have been great moments. That's the thing, and that may be something I do on one of these. Maybe I'll do it this week. For my Main Street Daily News column. When I do the five, I think, would be the 5 greatest moments, and then maybe next week I do the 5 worst, because believe me, they are at opposite ends of the spectrum always, but they're really for this. And I'm not just talking about baseball. There were some bad football moments, as we all know. There was one really bad basketball moment, and it had after so much greatness, blowing teams out left and right, beating Kentucky 3 times, ended on a real thud. Obviously baseball, obviously softball with what happened there. I mean, that was, you're 1 win away from going to Oklahoma City, and you're really 1 win away from probably going to Omaha. And that's the way I looked at it. And you don't execute at home. Team weird did it again. 15 losses at home this season. 15 losses at home. 5 on the road. Explain that to me. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. I can't comprehend that. I know that there were some midweeks where you had guys, but no, it was a strange year. And when I say it's embarrassing to me, just as somebody who really wants them to do well, and they just didn't execute things. But that said, there are 16 national seeds, 7 of them did not advance. So this was a strange year. It was year weird, because the whole year was strange in terms of UCLA, the 1 seed get knocked out, the 2 seed get knocked out. And we'll talk about some of the matchups that are coming up, only to give you the TV times. I don't, it's like with softball. I'm not sure once Florida lost, how into it I would get. I've watched a little bit of it, but not much, to be honest with you. Just a little bit, because it's on. If it's on, I'll watch it. All right, that's number 1 on our moneymetals.com starting 5. Let's get to number 2, and that would be another end of the season that is sudden and abrupt and painful, but at least these guys played really hard. I have nothing against, no qualms with the golf team. Now, Florida men's golf team got all the way to the Elite Eight, and that is impressive. And what they did the last two rounds in the stroke play was incredible. Just knocked the ball out of the park. They were incredible. And they got themselves in a good position, but they were playing Oklahoma State, which is a defending national champ. Battled, rallied, tried to get it done, just couldn't get it done. Lose 3-2 in the match play, but still a great season for them. They won so many tournaments, they had so many good players. It feels like this was a team that you heard J.C. Deacon on the show. He expected to win. And he's a very confident guy, and I love that. But hey, it's golf, man. I found that out yesterday. I played 21 holes, and there was a lot of failure. But it is a game of failure. But still, congratulations. The sad thing, really, for me, because you make the Elite Eight and you lose, there is no shame in that. Okay. And there won't be next year with the basketball team. If they get to the Elite Eight and they lose in the Elite Eight game, please don't tell me they choked or anything like that, or they let people. Now, it is hard to win any championship. It's very difficult. But the saddest thing to me is that we're just about done with college sports. We're just about done with sports other than golf and baseball. I mean, Major League Baseball for the year. But especially all we have left is track. And, I'll pay attention to it, but it doesn't get the publicity it probably should get with all the national championships they won. They need to win one more. See if they can get that done. All right, that's number 2. Let's get to number 3 on our moneymedals.com starting 5. And that is that Florida leaking out these Hall of Fame things. I don't know. It used to be they'd announce the whole thing, but now they leak it out. I heard the story about one of the people that is going in that just blew my mind, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I have an oath of silence. Anyway, I did not hear anything bad, and I never have, about Vernon Hargraves III, 2-time All-American, and he is going into the Hall of Fame first ballot, and that is definitely deserved. And he's one of the great players at Florida. I mean, you just didn't throw his way, and he's going into the Hall of Fame. That is going to be an interesting night, with Vernon Maxwell, Andrew Moten, and Hargraves, and I know they announced some of the others that were going in. I'm blanking on them, but I think it'll be really cool to see all those people go in. And it is a very hard thing to get into. You would think it's easy. Oh, all you got to do is be an All-American. It's not easy. I mean, there are a lot of people that are still not happy with people that have not gone in. And it's hard because not only Florida's got however many sports they got, 20 or 21. And they're good in all of them, except women's basketball so far. We're going to see if we can't get that solved. But even in women's basketball, they've got multiple Hall of Fame that have gone to the UF Hall of Fame. And you try to put in one special contributor. Could be, I think Phil Farr is going in this year. Of course, played at Florida, but he's not going in for his playing. He was a long snapper. Anyway, Hall of Fame's a big deal. No doubt about it. It is another Hall of Fame I will not get into. It's almost become like my mission in life not to get into any Hall of Fames. And I'm doing a good job of it so far. All right, let's move along on our moneymedals.com to number 4. We appreciate our friends at Money Medals, and the NBA first game of the series was last night. And this was a great thing I saw on Twitter today. The last time the Knicks had a lead in the series, in the championship series, was the day of the OJ thing. Now, if you don't, they did a big 30 for 30 on this, and it was really good because there was so much going on. The Knicks were playing in the who were they playing? I'm trying to remember. They were playing in the NBA Finals. And then you had the OJ thing going on. The cars going down, and we can't stop watching it. It was the same day that Arnold Palmer played his last round of the U.S. Open, which it was very emotional for me watching it and watching him tear up. And There was just so much. I can't remember all the other things that went on that day, but there were just so much going on. But anyway, the Knicks, you got to give them credit, man. That team has won. What do they won now? 12 in a row. Yeah, 12 in a row in the playoffs. In the playoffs. That is so impressive, and I give them a lot of credit. Now, obviously, the next game is going to be huge because San Antonio is at home, and they were at home for this game. They lost. Wembanyama did not play great, missed a lot of shots. Spurs were up 14, though, and just couldn't hold it. And Jalen Brunson is the man, despite what Becky Hammond says. He is the man, and he is going to be the MVP of, unless something weird happens. Like if Wembanyama goes off, now they've got to win the game Friday night. If they don't, and I'll be into that. I'm going to stay up and watch it. You know me, early to bed, early to rise too, actually. But Brunson had 30 in the game. They win 105-95, and first game of the NBA Finals. And I'm sure it's got a lot of juice because of the New York market. I don't know that it would. Boy, New York and LA. If that's who it was, people would be losing their minds financially because you would sell great advertising. I think you get what I'm saying. Anyway, let us move along on our Money Medals starting 5 to number 5. And to me, right now, number 5, and I don't think there's any question, is what is still going on with recruiting and with football. And every day, it's like I say, I got a text. Oh, man. Now, again, I don't know if any of these guys can play. I've watched a little bit of tape of their highlights. Everybody's got a highlight tape. But what I know is he gets it in so many ways. And one way that John Summerall gets it is that he knows that Florida's got to be better in the trenches. And they're trying to do that. And now, unfortunately, and this was my speech at the quarterback club the other night when I did my lead-in, was I talked about I could say positive things or negative things. But, the positive was that Florida has now 4 offensive linemen, and all 4 of them are in the top 150 in the nation. And that's never happened before. So somebody put out, and I can't remember who it was, put out a list of every year over the last 4 or 5 years of they had 3 top 150, and this is the first time they've had 4. And you looked at the 3s, though, the 3 of each year, and a lot of times you're going, that guy never worked out. That guy didn't work out. Did he even play? Did he even? I mean, it's hard to hit on these guys sometimes. But when you got 4 of them, guess what? You got a better chance. You got a better chance with 4 than 3, is what I'm saying. And now they have 4 defensive linemen as well that they've gotten with the latest Zamar Tukes from Rochester. I want to say it's my neck of the woods because I've been there, but that's where my family is from, that area. Victor is actually right where they're from. Victor and Lima up there, but Rochester is that's the big city for those people. But anyway, they that's the thing. They're pulling guys from all over the place. He's a 4-star defensive lineman. Early in the week, they got Kennedy Jackson, a 4-star offensive lineman, big kid. And if they can flip a couple of guys, look, they're a consensus top 5 class now. Now things can change. People can decommit. People can, whatever. I'm just going by what we have now. And there's certainly, like, for example, LSU's like 60th in recruiting. They'll probably be a lot higher, but they don't care about recruiting. They're gonna get their guys out of the portal. That's what Lane Kiffin does, and it's working for them. But FSU's down very low. They have not done well. They've tried to go through the portal as well. Florida is recruiting at a high level, and when you think about it, what happens when they start winning? They could go back to the Urban days because that guy's got Urban energy. He's very impressive. I will say that. And not only that, but Phil Troutwine's doing an amazing job out there, and I texted him the other day. I'm so proud of him because, hey, look, I was lobbying for him to get a job. I couldn't do anything about it, but I was saying it publicly and telling him all the time and letting people know he really wants to come back. But I don't think it had anything to do with it. I'm just proud that I've been right about that. So far. But that again goes back to the same old thing, and we talked about this on Tuesday night at the Gainesville Quarterback Club. That this Summerall is doing all the right things. I just hope it translates to the field, but I don't know that it will at this level. We know it's different in the SEC. I don't care what anybody. The Big Ten has won the last 3. I get it. It's still different in the SEC. I agree with Lane Kiffin on this. It is more balanced. There's more. The teams at the bottom end can sneak up and beat you, where they tend not to in the Big Ten. But it doesn't really matter. I just know I've been to SEC and I've been to Big Ten schools. The SEC is different, and I'm just saying, if Florida can somehow flip a couple of these big names, and obviously Jalen Brewster's the one they're trying to get, but I don't know that he will flip. Texas Tech will come in with more money. I mean, they'll just say, "What? How big do you want the check?" But at any rate, it has been very impressive what they've been able to do during this cycle, and it's a good sign for the future. And that's what I've said to people, because I get asked this all the time. We've talked about this. What do you think of Summerall? And I always tell them the same thing. I go, look, I like the guy. Every time I send him a text, I get one right back. He's that way with everybody, though. It's not like I'm special. Anybody who's got his number and I'm sure he's giving it out to everybody. I got it from a source. But anyway, everything he's doing is the right way. And I love what he's doing so far. But we have to see it. I still think this is a 6-6 team. I hate to say it. Now, the reason I say it is because offensive line, question. Quarterback, don't know, right? You hope Buster Faulkner, you hope Phil Troutwine, you hope John Summerall can all get that to work. I think they'll be fine defensively. I just worry about the offense. And I think they're going to play a lot of really close games. So let's see if he's got the clutch gene, Let's see if he makes great calls. Let's see if he goes for a 5-yard pass on 4th and 4 instead of a 2-yard pass on 4th and 4. Let's just see. Let's see if you get to 11 guys on the field all the time. These are things we're kind of beaten down. Let's face it. The Billy Napier era, more than anything, beat us down. Certainly, McElwain's last year, not good. That was not good. Mullins last year, we kind of quit on, there were players quitting, not good. But what happened before that, McElwain won 2 straight SECs or SEC East. Mullen went to 3 straight New Year's 6 bowl games. So we had positives. Even with Will Muschamp, they had the 11-win season. And then the next year, 4-8, which you're like, that was kind of the start of the negativity. But it has been a rough go, and especially the last 4 years. There were some exciting moments, but not enough. Let's see if this guy can provide some excitement. We'll find out. It's not that far away, guys. Believe it. We're in June. We know that by, in September, the beginning of September, that's how far you got to go. You basically have 3 months. Take a walk, go to the beach, play some golf. It'll be here and before you know it. All right. That is going to do it for our Money Medals starting 5. Again, Money Medals. This is the box that it came in. It's really cool. The trouble is with the screen back there, it's hard to see it. That's why I wanted to take a picture. There it is. Yeah, right there. We appreciate them, and we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by All-American offensive tackle Kenyatta Walker. Look forward to this conversation, and we'll do a yes, no, where maybe with him as well. You are listening to or watching another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging from the Meldon Law Gator Studios.
Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you why you should be buying silver and how to get started. Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation, as do raging bull markets and equities in housing. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. That's why we're offering our Silver Starter Kit to help you get started in holding tangible wealth. This mix of our most recommended forms of silver includes 9 silver coins, totaling 4 troy ounces of fine silver. These pure silver coins have a low bid-ask spread, the difference between the price you pay to buy and the price you receive to sell. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It is great to bring on our guest today, and that is one of the great offensive linemen in the history of the University of Florida, All-American in high school too. Kenyatta Walker joining us right now. Yatta, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing good. He's coming to you on our Big Mills Cheesesteaks Zoom line. And first question I have for you, how do you get from Meridian, Mississippi to Gainesville, Florida?
That's a great question, man. Long story. I was just looking for somewhere when I was coming out of high school. I was just looking for somewhere that would fit me and could help me accomplish my goals. And, like any teenager at that time, if the goal was, to become an NFL player and, have a good college career. And, when Coach Spurrier and I think Coach Sanders and the guys came knocking, and it was the right fit.
Yeah, it's funny. Bob Sanders, I think, is an underrated recruiter at Florida, because every time I talk to one of the great players, they're always saying, "Yeah, Bob Sanders recruited me." I think people, because he was kind of low key around media and stuff, but I don't think people realize how good a recruiter he was.
You know what? He was on me from like the 10th grade, 11th grade, and he was very consistent. And because you don't know, a lot of guys on my team, we had about 4 or 5 guys. All of them went to Alabama.
Oh, really?
So Alabama is probably like 45 minutes from me. So it was supposed to be my whole high school was going to go to Alabama, but I was the guy that decided to go somewhere else. Tell you something funny, when how the kids now do their recruiting thing and they do it on TV. So I did mine on TV, and they had all the hats and stuff laid out, and I was in the studio, and all the Alabama alumni were in there, and et cetera, et cetera. So I put the Alabama hat on, threw it at the alumni, and put the Florida hat on. So I can tell you, they don't like me a lot in Alabama. I'll probably tell you that.
That's okay. I'm not like Alabama either. So, did Spurrier give you any of the where you can go somewhere else, and we'll beat you there? Did he give you that?
No, he was very, consistent. Like I said, we had a couple guys on my team that was pretty talented, and he was real locked in on me. And it was a great decision.
Well, and obviously you got here and did great things at Florida. Of course, Jacobs Award winner in 2000. That was a SEC championship team as well, and did a great job. I don't know. Did you get? Because I've asked people this question before. Did you get anything for the Jacobs Award? Because Jason Odom says he never saw anything. They just told him he won it, and that's it.
No, I got like a plaque.
Did you?
I got like a little plaque or something. I have it. It's either here. I have it at my mother maybe have it at her house, but I got like a little plaque or something that said it. That you just really just kind of got like that you got it, and you kind of didn't really know what it was. You know what I mean? Until you kind of realized at the end. But it wasn't like a big ceremony or anything like that. But I was honored, and to be the best offensive lineman in the SEC that year, that was a great honor.
Well, it is a big deal. I mean, to win the Jacobs to me is a big honor in this conference, and they just need to be able to put more stuff out with it. They need to have a trophy.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think I got like a plaque or something, but it was just something. It was good for me. It was something nice to give to my mother, and she has it, with all the other trophies I have at her house.
Now you're 6'5", so did they try to get you to play some basketball? Did you play some basketball at high school?
I played basketball. I played soccer. I played baseball. I played a little bit of everything. But once I got to about the 10th, 11th grade, it was strictly just football. I had hurt my ankle a little bit playing basketball, and football coaches came and got me off the court and told me it was over.
Yeah. So what was that like though, playing for Coach Spurrier here? Obviously, you guys had a lot of success during that time before you left. Of course, you went out a year early and for the 2001 draft. But what was it like playing for him and playing in that offense where they were just going up and down the field?
Coach Spurrier was very demanding. He was, he he wanted a lot out of you, which I thrived in. I needed somebody to be hard and very demanding, and he was a good coach, great offensive coach. And like I said, I thrived a lot in the system.
Yeah, obviously he knew what he was doing. And I'm wondering, no, when you're in practice, are you blocking against like Alex Brown? Are you haven't trying to handle that?
Me and Alex Brown's had a lot of war stories. And Alex Brown, Javon Curse, Tim Beauchamp. It was,
Tim
Ed
Beauchamp was
Chester.
a man, wasn't he?
He was extremely strong, extremely strong. So, yeah, me and Alex, when I was in town, I guess when I saw you for the Spurrier event,
Yeah.
I saw Alex, maybe not for that, but for a game and stuff, and we still talk a little, smack to each other. I tell him he's never beat me, so I let him know that every day.
Well, I mean, that's the key. Obviously, for you guys, for you to then go to the pros and be a starter for the Bucks and win a Super Bowl over the Raiders, that had to be a great moment in your life.
It was a great accomplishment, man. Especially, that year. It was kind of all on us. We had meaning my unit, offensive line unit. We had an amazing defense, great quarterback with Brad, great receivers, running backs, and the whole year was about, can the offensive line? We can only go as far as the offensive line take us, and to be with them guys, Kerry, Roman, Jeff Christie, Cozy Coleman, for us to come together and to win that Super Bowl, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was one of my greatest accomplishments.
Yeah, well, anybody who wins a Super Bowl and gets a ring, it is an amazing accomplishment. And then, I mean, you were the 14th pick, so I mean, you got a pretty nice bonus for that, and I'm sure that was a check that when you were like, oh, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this.
It was definitely a blessing, man. It was, coming from a small town and being able to retire my mom and, buy her house and take care of everybody was a true blessing for me.
Now, you came back here in 07 to get your degree. What went into the thinking there, and why did you do that? I'm glad you did it. Believe me, I think everybody should get their degree.
Well, my mother is a teacher, and she taught for 30, 35, 40 years, and that was very big for her, and to have two, I have a sister, and for me to get the degree, so I had to get that for my mom, and I was so happy to give that to her.
Yeah, I bet you were. And that was really cool. What I know you have two children, right?
I do. I have
You're running
two.
them all over the place.
I have two smaller kids that are just now getting into a lot of activities and with sports and soccer, and I'm selling Girl Scout cookies now, and something I thought I'd never do.
We'll take 4 boxes.
So it's just been a blessing just to be around them and do the activities and hang out and be able to go to the different events and stuff with them. And they get into the age, man, they're all over the place.
You're Mr. Mom.
Exactly. But the real mom is the boss of the house. You know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they're the boss of every house, you know. But look, it's amazing to think about those days and just when you would go to the ballpark as a media member, you knew Florida was going to win. Now you go to the ballpark and I go, I hope they can somehow win this game. I got to think when you're looking at what Florida football has become over the last 5 or 6 years, it's just stunning. I mean, it's hard to understand how it got to this point.
Yeah, it's been some up and down years, as you know. And but we just I think we finally maybe be trying to turn it around. We always have had the athletes. I really appreciate the this new coaching staff, and I know this is the honeymoon period right now. But what he's doing with the recruiting class he's bringing in this year, and I was able to be around him and hang out around with him, and it's looking like we might turn it around. Now, this as I was looking at the schedule, September is going to be a good tune up for us. October is going to be tough with Texas, Oklahoma, and always Georgia. So that's going late October. We should really know where we are. What do you think?
I was trying to think of what your record was against Georgia. I think it was something in nothing.
Yeah, no, we never lost against Georgia. No, we never lost. But I will say this, which still bothers me. I never beat Florida State.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, they were elite then.
And that was it's not as big as a rival it is right now, but back then that was a big rival, big rival, as you know. Yeah.
Well, in '98, you guys should have won that game. I mean, they got a backup quarterback in there.
Don't say,
Gerard Warren's on the fumble in the end zone, and he gets it pulled away from him for a safety. There was a lot of things that went wrong.
That one really hurt. That one really hurt. But I never I've never bet Florida. I never was able to beat Florida State, and it was always still a thorn in my side right now.
Well, you asked what I think, and I think exactly the same thing. In fact, I was just talking about it in the earlier part of the podcast. It is a honeymoon period. He's lost 0 games at Florida, but everybody's in love with this guy because he is bringing in a class built with the trenches, 4 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen so far, and these are big time recruits. In fact, I think somebody put this out the other day. This is the first time in the Florida history they've got 4 offensive linemen there in the top 150 coming in. I mean, they've never done that.
No,
we're in the top 150, but I don't know who you came in with that year.
I came in with Ben Brown, who was another big time recruit.
Did he even play?
I'm not for sure.
I
think they might have moved him to guard or something. But I'm not for sure what he played.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that group was a good group.
Yeah.
They came.
Oh yeah, because they had just won the national, so we was the number one. We was a top 5 recruiting class coming in. With Alex and Gerard Warren, and even had Steve Shipp, who was a number 1 receiver back then. Daryl Jackson, Travis Taylor, Jesse Palmer. So we had a good class.
I will tell you this, that I got an Instagram post from Steve Ship directed at me because I had back when he was playing, not playing, he hardly ever played because it turned out he was slow, right?
Right,
He
right.
couldn't run. And so I'd bring that up every once in a while during recruiting season. It could always be a Steve Ship, and probably not fair, but he just said, going through all that with you made me a better person, but I'm not giving you any credit for it. So,
Well, I will say this: Have you? And Steve was a roommate and a good friend of mine. His son is at UNC and
yes,
is a hell of a player, a
yeah.
hell of a player. And I'm so happy for him and doing real good things over there at UNC. Definitely look out for him. He's a top receiver in the nation right now, so I know he's excited and happy about that. And um, he knew his he really should have stayed here and just toughed it out, but uh, sometimes it goes to the sun, and I think he's happy about that.
Well, yeah, and tell him I have nothing but good thoughts about him. He was a good guy. I probably will never refer to him as slow again. How about that?
Well, when you come into class, you come to Florida, and everybody's running a 4.3.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's it's pretty hard to.
Daryl Jackson and Travis Taylor are
Yeah,
flying. Yeah,
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 yeah. It was you had Quiz and all, there's a lot of speedsters out there, so it was full of speed.
absolutely. All right, it is time for us to play the game we love to play. Yes, nowhere, maybe brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteak. Street dining done the right way. Go in there and say, hey, I heard Kenyatta Walker was on Dooley's podcast. You get free French fries with your order. How about that? Three questions for you, and just yes, nowhere, maybe you can expound on your answer. Number one, since you live in Dallas now, you are a Cowboys fan.
No.
Ah, good. Thank you. If you had said
No.
yes, I would have shut you off.
No, I like the players, some of the players, but I get a little bit. It's just too much. It's too much living here in Dallas. They just kind of just feed it down your throat, and I tell you what, it's exciting when they're winning in the city, and Dallas is a amazing sports city, but I'm not a big fan. I'm 50-50 on them.
Well, you probably still like the Bucks, though, right?
Of course, yeah, I'm a big Bucks fan, but my biggest fan. The biggest team I love is Florida Gators.
That's right. That's the way to
That's
be.
that's my number one team.
All right, number two on yes, no, where, maybe. You use your degree in sociology on your children at times.
I wish, I wish, I wish. No, it doesn't. That doesn't work at all.
It doesn't translate.
No, no.
All right, and finally, number three on yes, nowhere, maybe with the great Kenyatta Walker. If you lost either your SEC championship ring or your Super Bowl ring, the one that would hurt you the most is the Super Bowl ring.
Definitely, definitely,
It's
yes,
worth a lot more, isn't it?
yeah, yes. Yes, definitely the Super Bowl ring. I've had a few friends that have made a mistake and lost it, and it was hard to it's hard to even get it replaced.
Oh,
So
wow. Then there's some guys that sell them too. So.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna be one of them guys. I keep it in the safe, and it's a trophy, and it's a big accomplishment. And sometimes when I go home to my high school team and be around the guys, I like to show it to them to kind of give them some type of encouragement and that they can do it and stuff like that. So I cherish it a lot.
So how many rings do you have? You have those two? Is there anything else?
That's I think the SEC. Yeah, that's the only two.
That's still, hey, you know how many I have? Zero. They don't give out rings for writing a good story
I hear you. I hear you.
or doing a good podcast. And this was a great podcast because you were on it. We've been trying to get this hooked up, and I know you had a death in the family, and we had to push it back. And I appreciate you coming on, man. And you're a good dude. And hopefully we'll see you do some. I want to see you get into TV at some point. I know you were talking about that at one point. I would like to see you do that.
Well, you never know. You never know. You never know.
Good luck with it.
I appreciate it, Pat. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Kenyatta Walker coming to you on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. We'll take a break and be right back. You know, I got thinking the other day, some of us gained a few pounds during the Spurrier years, and then maybe a few more during Urban. And depending on how stressful certain coaching changes were, well, let's just say the scale kept moving in the wrong direction. The truth is, losing weight gets harder as we get older. Not because you suddenly get lazy, biology changes. That's why I like our guys at BMI TeleMed. They're a Florida-based medical weight management telehealth practice that helps people lose weight with personalized treatment plans, including GLP-1 therapies. But what I like is they're not just about losing weight fast and wishing you luck. They focus on helping you keep it off too. Free consultation, easy process, real clinicians. Check them out at bmitelemed.com, because if your metabolism left town around the time Urban did, you're probably not alone. That's bmitelemed.com.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Great to have Kenyatta on, man. Good dude. You know, I ran into him at the Spurrier Awards thing, the Spurriers, as I call them. And I said, man, you need to come on the podcast sometime. And he's happy to do it. And that's one reason to go to that, because so many players come back to be there for Coach Spurrier. And you get a bunch of phone numbers. In fact, I got Javon Curse's number one year, and Gerard Warren wants to come on, but we had him able to work it on. Javon just not, he may have given me a fake number, which is fine. I don't care. Although Javon Curse, I lived in the same apartment complex with him when I was a single man back in the olden days. All right, let's get to our fun stuff that we do in segment 3 here on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. We'll start off with our Adams Rib Co. Gator of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Adams Rib, where you go for all your barbecue needs, and on Fridays, Nana's Nuggets. I'm definitely going over there tomorrow to get some of those. All right, our Gator of the Week, because we don't have a lot going on in Gator sports, our Gator of the Week is John Redmond. John Redmond, who is a former player of Florida. I played golf with him yesterday. This is legit. He hit a shot that went into a tree and stayed there. Now, I've seen people lose balls in trees, like up in the limbs, but never like that. I told him he was going for another Wood Memorial. He won one Wood Memorial, and it actually was over at Hale Plantation when we played it then. It was still called that then. And he got it because he threw a ball. We have throws in our tournament, and he threw a ball. He threw his throw, and it hit a tree and came back. That's not the idea of a throw. But anyway, I happened to see it. But John, what a great guy he is. He's a good friend of mine, just lives right down the street. Become a little bit of a chauffeur for me to the golf course when I get a chance, and I appreciate him. And he is our Adams Ribco Gator of the Week. So that is, hey, there's a rule. If you win Gator of the Week, I'll buy you lunch. So John, I'm here for you. Just let me know when we can do it. All right, let's move along to our Leonardo's of Millhopper quick pick. We're about to do another poll. Those of you who did get, I got to go back and look at it, that did get both the things right. If you're not already a member of my Patreon site, a duly noted Patreon site, I will send you a free month, and that's courtesy of Leonardo's. We appreciate Kyle for doing all this and being a big part of this podcast. We're going to give you 2 more opportunities to qualify. We may make a poll on Monday. I think we may be ready to do that. Our two games, one's a Friday basketball, Saturday hockey. All right. The Knicks at San Antonio Friday night. And the Knicks won last night. San Antonio is still like a 6.5 point favorite, but I'm not giving you the spread because I'm just saying go pick who you want. I would pick San Antonio because I got to think they're gonna bounce back. But the Knicks have won 12 straight playoff games, so playoff. But I think it's a toss up, to be honest with you. And then Saturday, the Carolina at Vegas hockey in the NHL finals. So all you got to do is put down Knicks and Canes or Spurs and Knights, Golden Knights. They're the Knights, the Golden Knights. It's a weird name. Anyway, so that is it. You send it to patrickdooley54@gmail.com, and we will. It will be your attempt to qualify, and then we'll pull a winner. We may throw in a copy of the book I've got over here. I've got several copies. I want to get some to Michael Lizardo for their Kira Grace Foundation golf tournament. Going to get him a couple and some other gift certificates that I've gotten over time. And I think I'm going to throw in a golf club too. So I'm trying to help other tournaments with their tournaments since we haven't done ours for the last couple of years. I don't know that there's a future for the Bob Dooley. I hate to say that because I loved the tournament, but it's just very difficult for me now to do it as I get older. And we did 29 of them. And we're still giving a lot of stuff to stop children's cancer and other tournaments. We're trying to help everybody out. Anyway, that's our Leonardo's of Millhopper Quick Pick. Leonardo's one of the major sponsors of our tournament when we did have it. And we may have another one. You never know. I got to think about it. All right. Let us move along to our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week. Brought to you by our friends at BMI TeleMed, your weight loss specialists. Achieve and maintain. Give them a call, 727-383-1677. Work for me. It will work for you. And just mention my name and you will get a discount on your order. Our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week belongs to the Gainesville Quarterback Club. And I'll tell you what. We got, and I was part of it, but we got Laura Rutledge to come speak. And this is the kind of person Laura Rutledge is. And first of all, I will say this. There are multiple people who came up to me and said, in all the years I've been coming here, that was the best talk ever. And it was awesome. I will say that. It was great. She likes Summerall. She talked about how the University of Florida got her to where she is. And she thinks back to lessons she learned at the University of Florida. And certainly great. Not only did she do this, but she flew down on frequent flyer miles. So it would cost the club nothing. Didn't stay in a hotel because she had to host NFL Live the next day. Then when they asked her, they said, well, what should we make the check out for? She said, whatever you make it out for, I'm giving it back to the club. Think about that. What a great human being. And she talked about her parents instilling kindness in her. She also talked a lot about why she's leaving SEC Nation, which she hated to do. But the NFL, the Super Bowl, is going to ESPN this year, as we had rammed down our throats. But and so that I think in a lot of ways they wanted her to concentrate more on the NFL. She's still going to do some college stuff, but not SEC Nation. And look, I don't watch a lot of pregame shows, but anything with Laura Rutledge on, I'm watching because I just love her so much. She is like a little sister to me, a very young little sister to me. But we've dealt with a lot. And anyway, that was a smart move of the week because getting her here was just made for a great Tuesday night. I can tell you what, you can still join the Gainesville Quarterback Club, the oldest Gator club in the world. And you can do that anytime. Just give them a call. Go on the website and great guests coming up. We're still working on a couple of them, but we've got a lot of big ones coming up. So have fun with it. All right. That is our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week. Let us move along to this, that, and the other.
What do you want? This, that, and the other.
Okay, as you know, the This, That, and the Other is brought to you by Notary Joe's, your place for a mobile notary. He'll come to your house and do your notary work for you. Give Joseph Newton a call. And it is also brought to you by Darshakow Insurance for all your home, auto, commercial, and life needs, and by the Atlanta Hustle, the Southeast Frisbee team. Big game coming up on the 10th, so a home game. So give that a shot. I think they're playing San Diego. I can't remember who it was, but I had that written down. But the Atlanta Hustle, you can get tickets at their website and check them out. All right, this today will be that, okay, everything had kind of calmed down in the NFL, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be really good, and it was really interesting. That was this, but everybody's set, right? Now that Aaron Rodgers, we know where he's going. Okay, that to me was the end of the off season. It was just now about OTAs that I don't care about. Then that comes up, and that Myles Garrett gets traded to the Rams, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, the Rams may win it all this year. And then AJ Brown gets traded to the Patriots, and you go, well, that's who could be playing in the Super Bowl. And it's just it goes crazy. Then we get to the other, which is the bad news is that Russell Wilson's not playing anymore. I loved Russell Wilson at Seattle. I didn't like him in Denver, but I liked him in Seattle a lot, and I appreciate him. But he's retiring. Rather than be a backup to Geno Smith, he's going to go and be on CBS on their pregame show, I believe it is. And then also the Micah Parsons news. He won't be ready for they're putting him on the PUP, and he's not going to be ready for the first 4 games. So I don't know how maybe I'll look at Green Bay different. So all that happened like in the space of 2 days, and I'm freaking out. And I know Laura was the same way. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I had to do these shows and all this stuff to talk about. It's great, and this is one reason the NFL. It's not the main reason, but it's one reason the NFL is king. They're the most popular sport in America." Is because they are always in the news, and they find a way to always stay in the news. Sometimes it's with trades, sometimes it's just injuries, but they're always in the news. And the thing is, anything that happens in the NFL is big news because it's a king. So it's like it feeds off each other. That's what I'm talking about with Florida football right now. Florida football needs to start winning some games. Like, they can't start today, but they need to start winning games. Recruiting the way it's going, I think they've got the coaches in place, and then winning begats winning. I'm a big believer in that. And unfortunately, as the guy said in The Natural, losing is a disease. So we'll see if, but right now, I'd take Rams and Patriots in the Super Bowl. You can pen that in. All right, that is our This, That, and the Other, and we appreciate all our great sponsors there. Let's move along to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Gallo Car Wash, and they do a great job. It's where we get all of our cars washed. In fact, every time I get into an Uber, he's got a Gallo symbol hanging there, that little logo. It's really cool. Our sponges of the week are all the soccer fans who just are losing their minds because it's about to come June 11th. The World Cup starts, and they were saying, I was thinking this, well, the World Cup's going to be in America. Well, it is going to be in America, but it's also going to be in the other Americas, North America. It's going to be in Canada. It's going to be in Mexico. I didn't even realize that. So look, I'm not a huge soccer fan. I wish I could get into it more. I used to cover a lot of soccer. We've been through all that. But the funny thing is, I'm looking up the schedules to make sure I don't miss anything. There are friendlies going on every day. That's why they're the sponge. All these friendlies matches, which means they're going to play, but it doesn't really matter. And they're going to charge for them and make some money. That makes them the sponges of the week. The USA is a week from today, I think it is, when they open. It's June 12th is their first match. I mean, we don't have a lot of I wonder how it is for fans that are really into soccer who, like, say you're a fan of this team, but he's actually going to go play for another team. I watched that the special they did, the ESPN thing they did. Actually, I think it was on HBO about, and now I'm blanking on the soccer player's name. Golly, what was his name? It's not is it Maradona? Anyway, it was really good because he was playing in Italy and then would play against Italy. And that'll be a weird dynamic there. Lionel Messi will play for Argentina, stuff like that. So anyway, that's our sponge of the week. And it's almost here. And look, I will watch the Americans play and I will root hard for them. The rest, I want to care. I'll try to care. Sponge. All right. Let's get to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Hesser and Kipke, with over 50 years of combined legal experience in North and Central Florida, Hesser and Kipke is your place for bankruptcy, workers' compensation, and family law. Call or text Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920, Hesser and Kipke. All right, number one on our 3 things is softball, and that I didn't watch much of it. I watched a little bit of the first inning, and when Texas scored 5 runs, and that pretty much I figured it was over. But Texas beats Texas A&M in the first game. They play again tonight, and we'll see where it goes. I'm rooting for Texas. I'm not even. Sometimes I have to remind myself they're an SEC team. I'm still not to the point where I think of them as an SEC team. But I have to remind myself. But that's not even the reason I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them for the obvious reason. I don't like Texas Tech, and I want them to lose. There you have it. It's that simple. But certainly Texas put on a performance last night. They've got really good players. Texas A&M has really good. Texas Tech has really good players. It's just who gets it done in the circle, and we'll see what happens there. That was number one on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Number 2 is, I think, one of the most underrated golf tournaments is this week, and you can watch it probably all weekend. That'd be something good to watch. And that is the Memorial, which I love watching. And Jack's involved in it, of course. And Jack had an interesting point the other day. He thinks the schedule's too bunched up now that where players can't get any time off. But I mean, I don't really have an opinion on whether it's too bunched up or not because I'm not playing it. I'd like to hear from players that are playing right now whether they think it is. It never seems that any golfer is ever happy with their schedule, ever. I don't know why. They get free cars everywhere they go, free housing, free food, free balls, free clubs, free hats, free clothes. Everything's free, and then they complain. I don't know. Anyway, and number 3 on Hesser and Kipke's 3 things. I don't know if you've been following this story. Duke and Michigan announced that they were going to play a game early in the season. I think it may be the first weekend of the season in basketball, which gets you excited. You will watch that game even if you're still into football because it'll be in November. But when they announced it would be on Amazon. That they signed a 3-year deal. They have 3 big games with Amazon. I think UConn's one, can't remember the other one, and this one. And what they didn't do, though, was sign that deal before they announced the game. And Fox says, hey, we have the rights to that, and we want to play it in a baseball stadium. How about that? And charge a lot of money and make a lot of money. How about that? Nothing they can do about it. That's what they're going to do. It appears they're going to play it in the Marlins Stadium. So those of you in Miami, that is a cool deal that you can go watch 2. I mean, you're talking about defending national champs and the team that we thought was going to win the national championship 2 years in a row, playing in a basketball game early. So it went from Madison Square Garden to a baseball stadium. And, do what you want. And wherever you play it, I'm going to watch it. That's all I know. That is our Hesser and Kipke three things. We appreciate Ken and Jen for doing such a great job. And they gutted it out for baseball. They were at the games, and I know they weren't happy either. All right, let's wrap it up as we always do with our Swamp Games of the Weekend, brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant, the place to go for drink specials, food specials, all kinds of specials. Special times is what you have at the Swamp Restaurant, and big screen TVs, and you can go watch any of these sporting events and anything else you want. I'm looking forward to next week when we get to tell you what time. I mean, we can tell you now, but you're going to forget it, what time all these soccer matches are and everything. But here's what we do have. Friday night, the Knicks are at San Antonio. I don't know why I blanked on it. Was 8:30 on ABC. And then Monday night, they play again, San Antonio at the Knicks. That's 8:30 on ABC as well. So no Sunday game there. Tonight, you have Vegas at Carolina in hockey in the NHL Finals, 8 o'clock on ABC. Saturday, Carolina at Vegas, 8 o'clock on ABC. Also on Saturday, Red Sox at Yankees, the world's greatest rivalry, which I've never bought into. It was a big rivalry. It can be at times, but is it this year? No. Boston stinks, so who cares? I don't even know that I'll watch it. I got to watch my Braves just beating everybody up. I don't know what's going on there. It's still driving me nuts. I literally, I go, well, they probably lost it. Well, they won again. It's amazing what they're doing. And then Sunday you have also that game is on at 1:35 on ESPN. Red Sox at Yankees. Also San Francisco Sunday night. San Francisco at Chicago. You can watch Tony Vitello. There's another reason not to watch. At 8:30 on NBC. Sorry, just trying to read my stuff here. The baseball or the softball is tonight, and then it'll be again tomorrow night if it's a necessary game. And then we have all these SEC teams and their super regionals. But the two I wanted to mention, Georgia at Mississippi State. These are SEC on SEC games. And I will watch those. Yeah, I will watch those. 11 o'clock on ESPN. That'll be, I love morning baseball. I love the smell of baseball in the morning. And then Auburn Ole Miss is the late game Friday night. That game is on Saturday, by the way. Friday night, you have the late game at 8 o'clock on ESPN2, Auburn Ole Miss. So there's a lot of, and there'll be baseball all over the networks. There'll be, there's still stuff to watch, but, the bottom line is we're getting near the end. We're getting near the dog days, and we'll try to bring on a lot of football-y guests and talk about a lot of football. Look, let's face it, from June, maybe after the U.S. Open, from that point until football season, we're going to talk a lot of football here on the show, and we will have great guests, that. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to Coach Spurrier on Monday, Jesse Palmer on Thursday, Brian Donovan on Monday, and I think Tammy Reese on the following Thursday. We'll get that cemented and let you know. All right. That's going to do it for another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Thanks so much to Zach for doing a great job as he always does. We appreciate him. We'll be back with you Monday with Coach Spurrier. And until then, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep. I am way back, and I am out of here.